Hey everyone, Harry here. New week, lots of new news. I'm here first to talk about Evan Corcoran's apparent recusal from the Mar-a-Lago investigation. Now, Corcoran is a general player on Trump's legal team. They want him, and in fact, they're denying without specifying the reports of his recusal. But of course, that means nothing. What the Trump legal team might deny, and it makes a lot of sense that he'd be doing it. And it spells trouble with a capital T, and that stands for Trump. So Corcoran, recall the bidding a little bit. He is the lawyer advising Trump when it comes time to actually do the no turning back criminal act of an inaccurate declaration in response to a subpoena that the DOJ finally sends out after they and the archives are just completely jerked around for over a year by Trump and company. Finally, they send a subpoena. And as you have to do with a subpoena, there's an attached declaration saying we've done a diligent search and this is everything. Now, remember Christina Bobb, the junior lawyer to Evan Corcoran. She's the one who Corcoran turns to and says, here, sign this. It's all fine. And she has the presence of mind to add, according to what I've been told. But so Corcoran is the guy who is communicating with Trump just at this point. Trump thinks it's confidential. It's very plausible that Trump is making it clear that he doesn't want to comply. We now have a whole cache of other evidence contemporaneous to that makes it clear that Trump is going through documents, ignoring advice that you have to comply with a subpoena and the like. So Jack Smith subpoenas Corcoran. Corcoran comes to the grand jury and says, I can't talk about my conversations with Donald Trump. They're attorney-client privilege. Smith goes to court, and the court says, crime fraud exception. It's not the first time that we've heard it, but which might serve to blunt how stunning it is, but it's stunning. Communications between a president and a lawyer, as another court had held vis-a-vis John Eastman, turn out to be not attorney-client privilege because of the crime fraud exception, meaning you listen to these communications and they sound more likely than not in furtherance of a crime, and the crime almost certainly being obstruction in response to this subpoena. So the court says you have to testify, Evan Corcoran, and Evan Corcoran promptly returns to the grand jury a couple weeks ago and testifies. That sets the table for today's announcement, even though, as I say, or reporting, even though, as I say, Trump denies it, which is that Corcoran is recused from participation in the Mar-a-Lago matter. So he hasn't been generally fired because they still want him on everything else. Why would he be recused from the Mar-a-Lago matter? Because you cannot be simultaneously a witness and an attorney in the same cause. And what does that mean? That means he's a witness. He's been notified that his testimony is sought and anticipated in a Mar-a-Lago case. And what does that mean? That means first that they're really zeroing in on how they're putting the case together and that he's a big part of it. So that's another indication in support of the Mar-a-Lago case getting ripe and getting within Smith's charging decisions, or Merrick Garland's and Smith's recommendation. And it means very bad for Trump because the idea would be at trial, Evan Corcoran would take the stand. What did the former president say to you then? And it ain't gonna be good. This is communications we already know by a preponderance of the evidence anyway, seem in furtherance of a crime. So it could be really very bad stuff. Now, it's a little interesting because the recusal rule wouldn't necessarily kick in until it's time for trial. So you could interpret it that it's very close, or it could just be, he's seen it as in an abundance of caution, or the Jack Smith and Department of Justice has said, you know what, you better recuse yourself from this and do it clearly, because there would be a play where he keeps in the room, but then recuses himself when testimony is in the offing. But he has already testified. It may be coming soon, so it is the right move. So lots going on here, but the scorching headline: Corcoran to testify in a Mar-a-Lago prosecution, which seems like it's really taking form. And that testimony is going to be devastating, I would say, for Donald Trump. Okay, there you have it. That'll be a big day when it happens, and we'll follow it all the way through the developments, which maybe are even sooner in the Mar-a-Lago case. So I'll keep back at you, but until then, talk to you later. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video and other Talking Feds content, please take a second to like and subscribe. Talk to you later.